Day one of the Cincinnati Bengals OTA practice is officially in the books. And day one was very interesting. And keep in mind, it is just day one, right? So pads and full contact and all these things are yet to come. But there is still a very important part of this process: who is coming to practice and who looks like they are working. Now, the first two things that we need to talk about, the first two people, is Orlando Brown and Amarius Mims. You have to give a big round of applause to Orlando Brown, because the moment they drafted Amarius Mims, he said, I'm going to take him under my wing and I'm going to make sure that he develops into the player we know he can be, right? Now, what's important about that is usually if you're an NFL player and they draft a tackle, for example, actually, let me compare this to the Jalen Ramsey situation. So a couple of years back, when he was on the Jaguars, he said, listen, when the Jaguars would draft a cornerback, I would not want to help them because they're going to replace me. They're going to take my job eventually. However, Orlando Brown says, you know what? No, I'm going to take a different approach. I'm going to help mentor some of the young guys. That way, when my time is done, they're going to step in and be really good players. So you got to give a big shout to Orlando Brown because, there is sort of a truth to Amarius Mims coming in and trying to take his job. That is kind of similar, not specifically in this situation where Amarius Mims is probably going to start on that right tackle position if he does start. But, still, got to give him a big round of applause. Shout out to Orlando Brown for that. But also, we also have some bad news. T. Higgins, it doesn't seem like he will be signing his, won't be signing his contract, his tender, before the Bengals OTAs. Looks like he won't be here for at least a little bit. But the good news about that is it opens up some windows for people to play good. Now, before we get into the remainder of the video, need you guys to do me a couple of things. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. It's free. It doesn't cost anything to join the family. So make sure you guys do that. Turn on post notifications. That way you're notified every time we post a Bengals video. And get this, we're going to cover the entirety of not only OTAs, but mandatory minicamp, training camp, preseason, and regular season as well. Join the family. It's free. Also, comment down below who among this Bengals team, regarding the newer players, whether it's a Jermaine Burton, whether it's a Amarius Mims, a Zach Moss, let me know who you guys think will make the biggest day one contributions to this team going into next season. With that being said, let's dive right back in. So, T. Higgins is, not signing the tender. He won't be here for at least the next couple of days here. I don't know if he'll sign it in the next couple of days, weeks, months. I don't know, okay? But what we do know is there's going to be a lot more open reps. There's going to be a lot more opportunity for guys to step up. For example, Trenton Irwin, Charlie Jones. More importantly, Jermaine Burton. Jermaine Burton is a third-round pick out of Alabama. When you turn on this guy's film, you can tell right away the dude could be a stud. He's rarely bothered by physical, route redirection. He's got good speed. He's got great route tree. He got a quick plant and open for stop routes and back shoulder fades. I think this is a guy who could do a bunch of things really well, right? He's got good hands. He's strong, almost automatic when he's open. Not going to drop too many passes. And he can find a second gear as well. Once the football is in his hands, he's a guy that is a threat to score on every single play. So I do definitely love that aspect about him. And I think he could take a major jump up this season. You also talk about a guy like Cedric Jackson coming over from Auburn a couple of years ago. I think he's got some sort of potential with this team, but other than that, I think the Bengals are definitely heading in the right direction, getting Joe Burrow healthy, bringing in Amarius Mims, trying to really protect the quarterback. Now, the two most important things in the NFL, in football, is not only getting to the opposing quarterback, but protecting your quarterback, and I think they did exactly that with drafting Amarius Mims and, still having Orlando Brown on that other side as well. Amarius Mims is a guy who may not be a day one starter, but when you talk about potential, this guy has an outstanding combination of size, length, and his frame is just insane. He can fit into dry blocks with good bend. He plays with deliberate hand placement, keeps his weight on the inside half when sliding out to a rusher. He's got strong hands, pure mass. This dude has adequate tools to be a really good player in the NFL. And when you talk about the Cincinnati Bengals and protecting Joe Burrow, he's the perfect fit for this team. You add a guy like Zach Moss who, does have to replace a lot in Joe Mixon, but you still have other guys here that can help, right? Chase Browns, the Travion Williams, the Chris Evans, right? So they do have a lot of guys here that I think can step in and be, good backs, at least until they find a solid replacement for in the future. But right now, I feel like they're good. Then you talk about what their defense looks like. I think they look really good. Although they ranked number 20th in the NFL last year in points allowed per game, I think you bring in a really good DB in Geno Stone. I think Von Bell, Cam Taylor-Britt, these guys, and even DJ Turner, right, only going to get better as time goes on. You talk about a Dax Hill and a Jordan Battle. The depth that this team has is really good in the secondary, and we just need to continue to see these guys make strides. I think today for OTAs was a solid day. I think Joe Burrow working on his footwork, getting to see him throw some of his tight ends, Eric All Jr. and Mike Gesicki, and some of these guys really have a lot of work to do. But I think overall, when you talk about where the team is headed, gotta like it, man. And I'm excited. Which one of these wide receivers do you guys think is going to step up the most? I think it's Jermaine Burton, man. He's been taking in a lot of knowledge from Joe Burrow. We want to continue to see that over the next couple of weeks here. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's Bengals update. Peace.